I'd like to welcome each and every individual to Voices of Integrity Top Gun Sales Boot Camp Training. Let's dive right in. Nora, what you got?
My numbers for yesterday were 15%.
Okay. Anything else?
Not right now.
Kenny, what you got?
Um, didn't I didn't enter my numbers for yesterday. Luke, how do you do, like, if you do present an estimate, what do you calculate that in the daily numbers?
Sometimes it depends the size of the estimate. If it's a big one, um, like today I'll be presenting one that's over 100,000 and then another one that's at 280. So those I count as business x-rays, and then if it's just a small one, I'll count it as a 30-minute.
Gotcha. I was thinking about that yesterday and didn't know if that should be an appointment or if it's not. We didn't make any money yet. It's just an proposition presented, no sale made. Um, the other thing I have is so working with a new guy, and it's like I don't think I should be his mom. I don't think we should be his mom, but some other thing I have some concern about him where his physical ability on doing his job. And if it's like he's not Amish, so I can't, hey, just eat more. You'll be fine. Um, so I don't know, do I just, let him go and he'll figure his stuff out.
My experience is most of the time people do not figure things out themselves. If they if they could, they would, but they can't. That's my experience. And sometimes you're just wondering, like, did did their parents just suck? Did their parents not teach them anything? Oh, did I say that out loud? Um, and so it's, having seven kids myself, so sometimes parents do teach, like, how do some kids learn and others don't? They're raised in the same house, same parents, and it's like jeepers. Um, so yeah, in my experience, people, if they do not, this is why you become, very concerned about the educational system too. See, because if the parents aren't doing their job or the kids just they don't get it, they just don't get it, like,
Hmm.
you know and then you go through an educational system and the kids still don't get it, then they hit the you know the work world. And so Ralph Miller, one of my mentors, super smart guy, um so he went ahead and was in the Air Force, in the military. I think he fought in Vietnam, so it's like Stan Lambert, I believe. And he started an aviation company and sold it when he was in his early 50s, never had to work another day in his life. And he went ahead and like, he shared these things about people. And once we were talking about, so he's a Christian, you guys know I'm a Christian, and or at least that's what people say. I don't know. anyway, but he said, I said, you could have, a Christian farmer, and I said, you could have an atheist farmer, and you'd think the Christian farmer would be more successful because they believe in God and the atheist doesn't. You're growing things from the land. And I said, but the atheist farmer can succeed and the, Christian farmer doesn't. Why? And so it's like there's these natural laws that govern the universe, and God rewards the people that understand the natural laws and use them, even if you don't believe in God. like you don't believe in God, I don't believe in you. If you still follow, I mean, this is where it's fascinating, because it seems like, to me, the same thing is true in relationships. You can have a husband and wife who are both Christians and have a miserable marriage, and you can have two atheists that are married, and it seems like they can have a good marriage. Why? Because of natural laws. You have to understand these natural laws, and you have to honor them. If you don't understand the natural laws and honor them, well, then you're not going to go ahead and, you're not going to be able to do it. And I said, what do you think about that, Ralph? And he said, well, seems like that the Christian farmer shouldn't be a Christian farmer. He shouldn't be a farmer. He should do something else. That makes sense. That was pretty smart. God didn't make him to be a farmer. So does God make people to just work in the factory? I don't know. I'm not God. But when you work with some people, so yeah, it's a hard question, Kenny.
Yeah.
So, I woke up this morning with a thought from last night's sleep I've never had in my life. And I'm like, what if never had this ever? It's like, you got to be kidding. I said, you guys all know how nice I am, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So when I was a boy, I followed the rules. And I was very sensitive. So I've said it wasn't until I was 19 that the driver came out in me. And then I went into business, and then the driver really came out. Then I had a wife and kids, and the driver really came out. I'm like, what if we're all born to be amiables to some degree? And some people just never grow up and grow out of that. And it's like, and so I don't know. I've never thought of that before. Um, so, how do you go ahead and bend steel? It's through heat. You heat it up and you bend it. And so if somebody doesn't gain self-discipline, delayed gratification, if they don't do that, and so is it because I heard God when I was 8 and he taught me humility? Mark, you're no better than anybody else. You're just not. And you're actually worse. I mean, he said it nicely, but kind of. But then he gave me hope. And that's one of the hardest things to teach kids is you're amazing, but you're not. Like you're amazing, but you're not. You're no better than anybody else in the world. So you're like, how do you teach a child? And so it's hard. And if they don't learn it when they're a child, then they come work for you. It's hard. And so how do you go ahead? And I don't know, do you go ahead and give them some options and say, listen, there's something in Christian world where they say, come to Jesus talk. It's like, we need to talk. Like here's some things that I see. So you learn, how to bend people to become who they were created to be. Like Mark's not taking somebody and helping them become something. No, everybody else in their lives, it seems like, just accepts them for who they are. And they don't go ahead. It's like, no, like, well, I only have second grade math. Well, that's all I'm going to be. Like, really? You're not going to grow? And um, so I don't know that that answers your question, Kenny, but I would try things. I mean, like when I was 9 years old and there was that single mom that went ahead and had that, misbehaving 5 year old, 4 year old. And I said to her, hey, hey, do you want me to help out? And because he was misbehaving in church and stuff. And she just looked at me and she just like it was the coolest feeling in the world. Like to have a grown woman just absolutely melt. Like, holy cow. Like all you got to do is pay attention to her. Now, was I some cool kid, some nice kid? No. I was just thinking ahead into the future. And I'm like, I probably am going to have one of those kids when I when I have. I'm going to practice on her kid. Did I tell her that? I didn't. I mean, but that's what I was thinking. I'm like, I mean, it's not that hard, Mark. Be nice. It's not that hard. Consider it. It's not that hard. And it's for your own benefit. You're not some super amazing kid because you help out. And I did. And it was fun. Like it was a challenge. And she loved it. The boy loved it. I loved it. Everybody walked away happy. And so, you go ahead and how do you do that for you, Kenny? I mean, I see potential in you. You tell people that. But to do that, somebody's going to have to bend you. And I don't know. It's not black and white. Like I'm working with Luke right now, and it's like it's hard. It's just hard. It's just hard. I don't know who it's harder for, if it's harder for Luke or it's harder for me. It feels like it's harder for me. But it probably feels like it's harder for Luke too. It's just hard for both of us. And hopefully both of us come out the other end and we're both better men because of it. But when you start doing that, like Kenny, I went into the Amiable, for 2 years, and I had more respect for the Amiable. I think every one of the personalities judges the other personality. Every one of the four personalities think that they're better than the other four, and they think everybody should be like them. And, I used to think poorly of Amiables. They were weak and this until I was for, 2 years. And then I appreciated them. Then I really did an expressive. And I'm like, whoa, I appreciate those two like crazy. Like, I don't know how they survive. Well, okay, so I've settled in the driver's spot. If people did that for a year, 2 years, 3 years, they would have a different. They're not mean. They're not nasty. They're the most loving of all the personalities because they're the ones that are willing to take the risk of being disliked, of being maligned, of people talking about them, of people judging them, of people, all kinds of stuff. They're just, oh, I don't know if that helps, Kenny.
I think so.
Luke, what you got?
How do you, when you're part of a system, how do you know if the system is not fair or you just are, how do you say it?
Game.
Being a baby or being a
Yeah,
whiner or
yeah, good question. Good question. Who created the system?
sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
Who created the system? Who's building the system?
The company we are,
So Kenny and Luke are building the system with guidance from Mark. Would that be fair to say?
yes.
So is it going to be fair? It's not a human being. It's not an entity. Did your parents teach you life wasn't fair? 'Cause, 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 'cause,
Sometimes, yeah.
Kenny, did your parents say, Kenny, life's not fair. Deal with it. Suck it up, Buttercup. Did they teach you that or not?
Yeah.
Nora, did your parents teach you life's not fair? Suck it up, Buttercup. Did they teach you that, Nora?
Yeah.
So you can see on the response on how Kenny is fast. Like, yeah, oh yeah, yipper. And Nora's fast. Luke's like, I mean, like, sometimes, like, so the more you think life is fair, people are fair, the world's fair, the more you think, the harder time you're going to have in life. That's one of the benefits of being an owner is you build the systems and you build them. And if you build them properly, everybody is blessed. But the thing is, you're going to build it. I'm going to build it. Kenny's going to build it to serve us. And so it's going to be fair as long as we're the ones gaining the benefit. Like Elon Musk says, on gambling, he said, the house always wins. Be the house. Richest man in the world. He's learned how to be the house. I'm not promoting him or his lifestyle or his choices. I think it's going to catch up to him. And he's going to pay a dear, dear price. But the biggest challenge, I hope I meet him someday. Maybe if somebody's watching this podcast, pass it along to Elon. Hey, Elon, you have a question, I understand. I have the answer to your question. My understanding is one of the biggest questions you have is, like, what am I here for? What's my purpose? I can help you find that. So if any of you know Elon Musk, pass this podcast along and say, hey, there's a guy out there that he's listening to you. Seriously, that's my understanding is, like, why am I here? You can tell it. He wants to go to Mars. He wants to do all these crazy cool things. Like, man, but he's looking for something. He's searching for something that I have found. It was given to me when I was 8. And so I understand my purpose. So Luke, you just go ahead and you share your thoughts and you try to go ahead and you try to do, what's Kenny's and what's mine. And so this is great practice for being married. This is great practice for having children. So you're looking at different vantage points. The personalities help. Like, I'm socially autistic. Every man is. I'm naturally selfish. Every man is. Now, if I was talking to Nora and, a bunch of women, I'd say women are selfish. If somebody said, do you think men are more selfish or women? I'd say without question, women are more selfish. Just because I think it doesn't and say it doesn't mean it's true. It's just, that's what I think. But I work with a lot of men. And when I'm working with a lot of men, I think they're more selfish than women, which is hard feat to have. Well, Mark, do you think I might be the most selfish person of the 8+ billion people. I get it. It's a mirror. Like, I'm always, anything I judge other people, not judge, anything I observe about other people. Well, Mark, is that you? Potentially. So you want to build a system that gives consideration. So, you're a hunter, Luke. And so if you shoot a gun at something and it's 3 degrees to the right, what do you do to go ahead and fix that?
Adjust the gun.
Okay, what if you can't?
And you have aim 3 degrees to the left.
That's what you have to do. So that's where self-awareness comes in, to understand how selfish we really are. And so the system, it's not that the system unfair, it's that you and Kenny, suck at building systems. If your system's not working, you and Kenny suck at it. Well, what about you, Mark? Well, yeah, I'm the one that's guiding it, so you suck even worse. Okay, now that we all know we suck, now we can go ahead and get down to business and say, well, what about this and this? And so you look at it and then you make adjustments. You fine tune it this way and fine tune it this way and fine tune it this way. And you're trying to be you're trying to be harder on yourself. You're trying to get it to the point where other people, you're so focused on other people, Luke, that people are watching out for you. I did that for Dale Williams when I was the chairman of the deacon board, and he was the pastor of Emmanuel Baptist Church. And I did that for, I don't know, 15 years plus. Always made sure that he was well compensated, always made sure that his needs were met. I felt that was my responsibility to care for him. And so I have a responsibility for those people in my life. I have a responsibility to each of you. So I take that responsibility very serious. Why? Maybe out of a fear of God. Someday I believe I'm going to give an account. And I don't think, could be wrong, I don't think God says to me, "What were you thinking, Mark?" It's like one time I was driving and I was not paying attention. And I, missed an exit, but I didn't miss an exit. I was probably, well, how old was I? I was probably 25, going 60 miles an hour down the highway, crossed over 3 lanes of traffic. Man, was I a great driver. And then I somehow made it, but then hit loose gravel, spun around 3 times, and then went off into the, median, into the side. I could have died. I could have killed somebody else. Just stupid. Stupid. And a guy pulls off, 2 or 3 people pull off because they see this happen. And a guy comes up to me. He's like, "What were you thinking?" I'm like, right? Like, I don't know. Just wasn't thinking, thought I could go ahead and pull it off. Just thought I could pull it off, but I wasn't paying attention. That one time could have cost me my life, or that one time could have cost somebody else my life, their lives, because I just wasn't thinking. The question is, do I learn from that? Or do I keep doing that? You go 20 years longer, maybe 25 years longer. So I'm 40 or something, 45. And I'm pulling out into the road. And I looked on both sides, but I didn't see the one. And I pulled out. Fortunately, I went ahead and took a second glance. So are we learning? Nothing happened. Like nothing happened. So do we learn? Do we have to learn the hard way, or do we learn? Like there was once that we were on a speedboat in Reno, Nevada. So Roseanne and I were out there, and I think it was Natalie and Jacqueline and Sarah and Tim, our youngest son. He was just a baby. Like his life jacket took, like he was a little boy in a life jacket. And I went off to go skiing, and one of the gals was going to drive the speedboat. And I got off, and I was getting it on, and I had taken my life jacket off. And I got onto the skis getting on, and Rosanna's like, "You don't have the life jacket on." And I'm like, "You're just sloppy, Mark. You're just sloppy." And that was over, that was probably 24 years ago. So I think a lot of people, I think they just, well, it's no big deal. They don't see what could have been, so they can't learn unless they go through really hard things. And sometimes they still don't learn. They go through them again and again and again. Anything else, Luke, you have?
Nope.
So the system, you you build the system and you tweak it, but you're not tweaking it for you. You're tweaking it for the benefit of the whole group. And, a leader's they're going to work harder. They're going to make more sacrifices. They just are. It's part of being an owner of a company. It's part of being a leader. Nora, Kenny, anything else either of you have?
No.
No, I don't.
Oh, we've talked about, but we haven't done. I don't know if we do it on here or if we do it on the Thursday. We talked about it. So there's all these natural laws, hundreds of them with models and everything. And so should we lead with most of them can be explained in 3 to 7 minutes. They're pretty cool. So I don't know. I'll leave that up to you guys. Alan Stein, he said, "How do I learn how to think like you think?" And it's going through these like these natural laws. They become a part of who you are, like a part of your DNA. It helps you. The bigger the life vision is, the bigger the life vision is, the more you have to understand the natural laws. The more you're going to work, the more you're going to have to sacrifice, the more risk you're going to have to take. And so, if you're listening to the rebroadcast, think about who else. Like if you go through with at least 2 other people, we can accomplish so much more together than we ever could on our own. Have an amazing day. Bye bye.